I don't think that's. Woo! Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, you know what we're about to do. We got to get back into it, y'all. I know yesterday we took the time to listen to our dentist, but today we got to go back and take a big bite of Candyland. But she hasn't decided when she's going to go live. So I'm in a little bit of a quandary. I'm going to probably ask you all for your opinions because I have a hard stop at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I probably would not be able to do the whole show if she starts at like 6 because I have to stop at 6:45 on the dot. That being the case, I do want to touch base with y'all because there's some crazy stuff going on out here in these YouTube streets. So thank you so much for jumping in. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. You see your boys doing the quarter zip, trying to do the quarter zip gang here. Shout out to Quarter Zip Mafia. I just think that trend is hilarious. Shout out for sure. Blessings. Thank you so much. Good to see all of y'all jumping into the best live chat. Hey, we even got brand new members. We got Wit 5761. She's a brand new member. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for joining us and becoming a member. Oh, Caustic said he was number 1. Good to see you. Good to see you. First light. Well, I appreciate you. May it not be your last. How about that? Yeah. We got a lot going on. Did Candace travel to be interviewed with Russell today? I saw that, but let me tell you something, y'all. I don't know how people do it. I really don't. There's so much Candace theory out there, Candaspiracy theory floating out there. Some stuff you just kind of miss. Like it comes by you. And matter of fact, the story that I'm about to show you came by me and I just missed it initially. I didn't see it. You know, people say you got to see something like 7 times before you got to see a car 7 times before you buy it or hear something, a presentation. And that's what it is like with Candace sometimes. You see something, but it doesn't register. And then you just kind of move on and you're like, oh yeah, I did see that. And like 2 days later or something. So I saw that and I wasn't certain when it actually happened. So I wasn't sure if this is something new that happened with her and Russell Brand. Because I mean, there's tons of content that's going out, even with like the Fresh and Fit interview. I don't think that was new. I don't think that happened this past weekend or the weekend prior, rather. So sometimes there's stuff that pops up and it's hard to determine when it actually happened because there's just so much happening going on out here in these streets. But we will keep up. I don't know. So to answer your question, I don't know. But we will keep our ears on it. Okay, I'm trying to get this screen ready so I can play. So most of you all saw that video of Brandon Tatum doing an interview with Rachel, I think her last name is Locke or Loesch. I thought it was a pretty good interview. I actually did a little bit of a rebuttal and reaction to it. I thought it was pretty good. Well, apparently, as things turn out, he asked her to take the video down. I really, truly don't understand why, but we're going to pull it in. And apparently because of who her dad is, which seems weird. Like, what's that got to do with my relationship with you? I might not like your dad, but they had I thought was a very cordial relationship, very cordial interview. Dare I even say it was a good interview. So let me pull this in if you had not seen it. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet, the 237 that are already up in here. Welcome, everybody. All right, let's go. Hold on. Wait, what? Tim Pool said he is going to shut down the Timcast show. Not sure if he's just for Christmas or for good. That's another thing. I literally saw that and it didn't process. I was on Twitter. I saw that and I said, oh, okay. And just kept on scrolling. It's hard to keep up with everything. So I did see that. If somebody gets some more information, please let me know. All right, what we got here? Okay, let's bring this in.
Imagine my shock after years of having been a huge Brandon Tatum fan, reading all of his stuff, listening to his podcast, watching his videos. Then I invite him onto my podcast because I'm such a big fan. Okay, Brandon Tatum, I cannot thank you enough for coming on my podcast. I'm a little bit starstruck because I've been watching you for years. but I did not think I would actually get you down to come to this podcast because I watch everything you do on X. You have such a voice of moral clarity in this really freaky time. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. And he comes and we have an amazing conversation about like God and the Bible, the Torah, what's happening to the conservative movement right now. An amazing conversation. And then the next day, I get this message from his office. Hello, Rachel. Brandon asked me to reach out with a direct request. Please refrain from posting and please remove any uploaded version of the interview with him. He was not aware that you are Rabbi Shmuley Boteach's daughter at the time of recording. Brandon has publicly and consistently opposed many of your father's positions over the years, and he does not wish to be associated directly or indirectly with him or his views. For that reason, we also need to formally cancel the interview. It already happened, whatever, okay? And any planned publication or promotion related to it. Please confirm that the interview has been taken down and will not be posted moving forward. I wrote back to them saying, this is like shocking. Can you please repudiate this? I'm not taking the conversation down. They completely ghosted me, never answered me. Okay, so what's bothering me here? It's not just that this is such a degrading, demeaning message where Brandon treated me like a piece of garbage stuck to the bottom of his shoe. And that's not such a big deal because it's very common that someone's private character doesn't match their public persona. Okay, that's fine. It's also not that he went woke on me and tried to cancel our conversation and censor me because of my last name, right? I love my dad with all my heart and soul, but we're two different people. We agree on some things, disagree on other things. Conservatives, right? This is one of our biggest conservatives. We don't cancel people based on their background, their ethnicity, their last name, their religion. It's that he lied. I looked it up and I remember thinking, I don't remember him ever talking about my dad. What is he talking about? Like years of disagreement? There's nothing online. I can't find anything. It's a lie. My guess, and this is why I'm sharing this, is that this came from Candace Owens. Candace Owens has such a creepy obsession with my father and I. She has blasted us multiple times, me, on her Daily Wire show. She accused my father of murdering Michael Jackson. She accused me and my father of killing people. She used the word killing. And in this conversation I have with Brandon, I called her evil. I truly think, and I don't know your relationship with her, I truly think Candace Owens is one of the most diabolical, evil.
Hey, wait, hold on. She's using my video. Hold on, wait. She's using my video. Oh my gosh. Wait, did she do this? Or did it, maybe my editor added that. Maybe my editor added that. Okay, let me strike that. Wait, hold. Okay, now I got to go look at the original now. I think maybe my editor did that. Oh my gosh. Okay, jump scare.
Hearted women in America, probably in the world. One of the worst women in the world. I really think she's borderline evil. She, like 2 years ago, was talking about, and I know, I'm sorry, because I know you must probably be friends or something or somewhat. You probably talk. But she was talking about how Israel, I just want to give.
Shout out to my editor. That's what he meant. Okay. No. Okay. My editor, her original video is 2 minutes and 51 seconds. The video that I'm playing that he sent me, he said, hey, here's Rachel's video. I realize it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds. He's added this part to it. Okay. I'm like, wait, she's using my video. Shout out. I would love to talk to her. She seems like a great person. Okay. Sorry about that.
Give an example of a spiritual demonization of Israel in the name of Christianity that has nothing to do with like a regular, like I don't like the politics of Israel. Because she is evil. She is. I stand by that. And Brandon kept defending her and saying, no, Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes are evil, but not Candace. I know Candace. Candace is my sister. I know her heart. She's a good person. I believe, this is like my guess, that this came from Candace. And if Candace is censoring Brandon and Brandon caved to her censorship and he cowed to her trying to cancel me, that is a problem. These are our biggest conservative voices. This is a problem. It's disgusting and it shouldn't happen.
Bruh. Okay, let me see real quick. Right after the Officer Tatum demanded I remove our podcast, let me give you all a big screen, conversation where I called Candace evil and diabolical, he posts this. I genuinely thought you had convictions and courage, Officer Tatum. Wow. All right. And what is he posting? The game used her name. Candace owned the moment. Matter of fact, that Substack just recently went out. So that's what she's referring to right there.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm gonna pull that in. I'm gonna pull that in. We'll look at that because I do think that is Brandon Tatum, man. I don't think he realizes how much of his own value he is giving up to stand for and defend Candace Owens is pretty diabolical. I ain't gonna lie. Like, dude, you're missing the whole forest, all of the trees, everything. You're missing it all. Like, you're totally missing the point. And I believe that young lady's correct in that. Let me pull that up. I'm gonna pull that up and we'll look at it real quick and read his Substack on this topic, which I think he missed the mark for sure. All right. Got the link. Okay, cool. Bring this in. And by the way, if people are asking, Candace hasn't announced her show. I do have a hard stop at 6:45. So we might have to look at another option. Maybe I'll do it again tomorrow. Maybe if she pulls it up late and I'm not able to do it, or maybe I won't do it at all. And I'll just come back after my wife's reception tonight. It'll be like 10:30, 11 o'clock, or we'll just do it tomorrow, something like that. We'll see. All right. So here's Brandon Tatum's Substack. And hold on. It was Holly Berry. What in the world? Let me pull this in. All right. So I hit the wrong one. Sorry about that. All right. So some reason or other, the wrong one populated. Let's pull this one in correct now. Now let's do it. Share the screen. Okay. So what did Brandon Tatum say? I think this is very telling for the state of Mr. Tatum. So a lot of people have been saying, Brandon Tatum they're disappointed in him and all that kind of stuff like that. And I think you're on to something. The game used her name. Candace owned the moment. I keep telling people that Candace Owens is one of the most unintentionally powerful forces in culture today. I know I think it's direct and intentional, but I digress. I disagree really with the first sentence. She does not chase drama. I'm sorry. I can't even watch the rest of this. I'm done. All right. I'm going to rage quit the article. I can rage quit the article, man. Like, this is craziness. She does not need hype. She wakes up in the morning, says what she believes, and somehow the entire world rearranges itself to respond to her. That's wild. That is some wild commentary right there, Brandon. And wrong, too, by the way. The latest example came from an unlikely place. Rapper The Game decided to include a track on his new mixtape called the Blank of Candace Owens. Yes, that's a real title. And yes, The Game really thought that was going to stir something up. That's the truth of the matter. The Game only did that to stir this up. He knew that name would jump into the lexicon, jump into the algorithm, and people will be looking and listening to, downloading, and playing that song. Whether they like it or not, it's the title, and he knew that. Let's go. But let me tell you how this actually played out. Instead of hurting Candace, I don't think he meant to hurt her, though. That's the thing. The Game didn't mean to hurt her at all. The Game is giving her some level, if you will, of notoriety, and dare I say, even affirming what she believes. Let's keep going. Candace made her even more hurting. Instead of hurting Candace, he made her even more relevant. He gave her even more reach, and he reminded the entire industry that no matter how much people claim to dislike her, they cannot stop putting her name in their mouth. To some degree, I can respect that. The problem is notoriety and the foolery and Tom chicanery that we're watching right here. That doesn't mean anything. But we'll continue. I just saw a comment pop up. The Game actually spoke nicely. Right. That was not a dig again. No, there you go. Thank you, Jen. Jen, Coco. I appreciate it. This is what happens when you become a cultural magnet. You do not force attention. Attention forces itself on you. Candace reacted exactly how a confident woman reacts. Candace saw the title during her live stream and immediately cracked jokes. She said it sounded like predictive programming. She pointed out that the track number was 13 and laughed about it. She told her audience she is having the best year of her life and she is not bothered in the slightest. But everybody, I wouldn't be bothered either. I crack jokes about it too. Like what? That doesn't mean anything, but let us go. Let me do real quick. Somebody asked us, Candace going live today. She has not announced it, and I have a hard stop at 6:45. So she's not announced it, and it's not even on her screen. So I'm guaranteed she's gonna go like super late. So I will not be able to do it today. And I do apologize about that. To the 750 that's in the chat, my goodness. She surrounded herself. She understood instantly what was going on. This was not a personal. This was marketing. And I agree. The game was marketing his song. And he knew that she was good. Again, that's the same thing with Kanye West and his Hail song. And instead of melting down like a typical celebrity, she leaned into it. I don't think most celebrities don't even acknowledge it though. She teased that maybe there's beef now. Yeah, okay. Maybe she should drop a mixtape of her own. She even suggested he sample her podcast catchphrase, everything is fake and gay. Only Candace can turn a moment meant to rattle her into a punchline that makes her even more memorable. No, there's tons of them that do that. There's tons of content creators that do that. Joe Rogan does it. There's tons of them. Like they don't get bothered by that at all. That is what true confidence in identity looks like. That is what happens when you do not let the culture tell you who you are. The game backpedaled because it was never about her, which is my point. The funniest part of the whole story is that once people asked the game about the title, he immediately clarified that the song is not actually about Candace at all, which is exactly what I just said. He told TMZ the title was metaphorical. It was about character assassination. It was about how the culture tries to destroy people. He said Candace just came to mind because she was always trending, always in the conversation, and always polarizing. That's exactly why he did it. He didn't do it for any of these reasons. So now if he had meant some harm and she responded in that way, maybe so. But I think it's not a far reach to say the game only put her name in that song, only made that song about her with the title rather, because she's always on people's minds. She's always trending, always in the conversation, always polarizing. I think that's the only reason it makes sense. He even complimented her, called her smart, said that he's not worried about her response. Think about that. He used her name because her influence is bigger than his track, which is true. The game is like my age. We're not supposed to be up there on stages rapping and stuff like that. We could throw out a knee or something. She brings more attention to the content itself. That is not an insult. That is an admission. Again, I've already said that. Whether he meant it or not, he told the truth. Candace moves culture in ways entertainers and politicians wish they could. I'm finding it very interesting that Officer Tatum is going through such lengths to glaze over Candace's impact in culture as if it's a good thing, as if her behavior is one that we should look up to, one that we should admire, or one that we should not call out. That is just that's wild. The people who hate her keep making her famous. This is the part that cracks me up every time. Candace does not have to create controversy. That is not true. She does create controversy. The controversy comes to her. The same people who attacked her online, who swear they despise her, who try to tear down her reputation, are the exact people who keep putting money in her pocket, and they give her free publicity. They push her name higher in the search rankings. They keep her trending. This is the only problem with that, Brandon. I don't think Brandon fully understands how prophetic what he says is right here. They keep pushing her name up higher. You do realize that there's nowhere else for her to go, right? Remember when she was number one in downloads that one day? She's not there anymore. I think she's like number 3. And I think at one point she even fell down to number 6. She's not number 1 podcast anymore. So the higher she goes up is only going to show how frail and, dare I say, how movable she is in the search rankings. They keep her trending. Trending doesn't mean good things. Brandon, why is this a idea? And again, Brandon professes to be a Christian. Why is your push for her to be trending and popular and shifting the culture not centered and anchored and moored to Christian understanding? This is something to wonder about. They think they are assassinating her, but all they are doing is assassinating their own credibility. I don't think that's true at all. I mean, y'all are welcome. There's 781 of y'all in the chat. Y'all are welcome to tell me, like, do people, when somebody calls out Candace, are they destroying their own credibility by pointing out the obvious flaws and issues with her logic or with her argumentation or the drama that she creates and all that chaos that she brings to the mix? Are they ruining their own credibility? And you're assuming that somebody wants to assassinate her character. No, they really want her to stop doing what she's doing and doing it in the way that she's doing it. Asking questions is not the problem. So miss me with that. The issue is that she's assuming things and pushing out things in the form of a question, allegations and assumptions in the form of a question that can't be substantiated. And she is not taking the time to substantiate them. She hasn't given the decency to say, let me tell you why I'm saying X, Y, Z, ABC. But rather, I got some secret Gnostic knowledge that I'm holding back from you. I can't tell you yet, but follow my book club. I can't tell you yet, but tune in tomorrow, tune in next week, tune in the next episode. And I'll give you more and more of the less, more and more and less of what you're actually looking for, which is crazy work. So I don't think Brandon has a full understanding of what's going on, but I digress. Candace is one of the most talked about women in media. That's not a good thing. So was Ebola at one time. Remember monkeypox? So was the swine flu, or goodness gracious, C-19. All of those things were very popular. And again, we will all fade away. My pastor talked about even on yesterday how your children will remember you, your grandchildren will remember you, your great grandchildren might know about you, but your third generation grandchildren, not even a hope. They might not even know your name. So this is going to fade away, Brandon. Well, why is that? Why is just being talked about the goal of our lives, Brandon? Continue. The numbers don't lie. And now she has rappers naming songs after her, not because of scandal, not because she is begging for it, but because her presence is so strong that people cannot stop orbiting around it. I don't know if that's what the game said, though. He just said that, look, I'm trying to bring it up. Right here. Candace just came to mind because she's always trending, always in the conversation, and always polarizing. I don't think that's because of like a deep-seated appreciation or love for Candace, though. But continue. That is what influence looks like. Candace Owens does not just survive attention, she dominates it. Wow, Brandon. Like, my dude, at what point do you stop glazing this woman? People underestimate Candace because they underestimate boldness. Is that what it is? Boldness. No, we underestimate the depravity of human beings and just how wicked we can be. That's what we underestimate. They see a woman who is not afraid to speak plainly. Really, she speaks plainly. Okay. Like the I feels, Charlie came to me in a dream, my gut, something just doesn't sense right. Okay, she speaks plainly. They see someone who pushes back on narratives. They see someone who is not controlled. And instead of respecting it, they try to destroy it. But here is the truth. Candace is becoming a cultural anchor. Every time someone tries to throw dirt on her name, she grows. Every time someone tries to tear her down, her audience expands. Wow. Every time someone thinks they are embarrassing her, she finds a way to turn it into a moment of victory. Because nobody else does this. Nobody else does this except Candace. Wow. Brandon, my goodness, my guy. This situation with the game proves it again. A rapper tried to create drama, but Candace walked away with all of the spotlight and she did not even break a sweat. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think he wanted drama. If you listen to the song or read the lyrics, he's what he's saying seems to be pretty straightforward in what he explained to TMZ. This is craziness. Final word. Candace Owens has become a kind of a figure of a culture cannot avoid. People can disagree with her. They can criticize her. They can misunderstand her, but they cannot silence her and they cannot ignore her. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Brandon, I'm really disappointed in this thing. This is some hot trash. I'm going to be honest with you. The game tried to make a statement with a dramatic track title. Instead, he ended up proving the strength of her influence. I don't think the game ever denied that, though. He's saying because she was in the zeitgeist, I guarantee you, if there was another person's name that was in the conversation around the same time that the game was working on this song, we would be having this conversation. It would be another person's name. So I'm not 100% certain that that's different, or rather that that's something unique. Continue. Candace stays winning because the truth stays with her. Wow. And when you stand on truth, it does not matter who takes a shot at you. You rise anyway. Goodness gracious. She's not just surviving the attention. She is shaping it. Wow. Let me see. Can I comment? I can. Look at that, man. They're attacking your boy. They're attacking your boy. They said, man, we ain't going to let you put this video up. Hold on one second. Put this in. All right. All right, let's go. Okay, I just said not a good look. Not a good balanced look on this, fam. Candace is doing way more damage than good. And a friend will call her out on this even if it meant they lose the friendship. How is she being a friend to you and your friends at Turning Point USA? All right. So I just said, this is terrible, man. Shout out to whoever pointed that out to me. Shout out to y'all. This is horrible, man. Shout out to Brandon Tatum. He's going to keep failing, man. He's going to keep sacrificing his own credibility. At this point, it's over. It's over. He's already given up his credibility. He's already given over. He sacrificed that in order to try to exchange for Candace. And in my opinion, it's not going to work. Shout out for sure. Bless y'all. Thank you so much, y'all. I appreciate you. 16 Medic RN with a $20 super says this. Tatum went on a show to scream about those who accuse TPUSA, etc. See, I already know where you're going without reading this. I already know where you're going and how wrong it is. What he completely avoids is saying that Candace is responsible for that. Then he goes on to defend her murder plot. She showed him zip. I mean, you right on the money. You right on the nose. And it's kind of sad that Brandon keeps, and again, when all the smoke clears, when all this is done, and whatever happens with Candace happens with her and her platform, Brandon Tatum is going to be looking around like, man, I traded in my credibility. I traded in my own voice, my own audience for supporting somebody who ultimately didn't care for me. Because I guarantee you, as quickly as Candace turned on Blake Neff, she turned on him in 2 days. Because on Monday, she was saying he was great. By Thursday, he had some kind of shadiness. That's as quick as she'll turn on Brandon and leave him high and dry. Shout out. Thank you so much for that $20 super. I appreciate it. AI slop. Brandon didn't read it before posting. You think it was AI? Really? I mean, I can kind of see it. MT, I could kind of see it. I'm not 100% certain, but I can kind of see where you're getting it from. But appreciate you. Thanks so much for the $2 super for sure. Amy says this with $2. Can Tifa Jahadas be like Candace Akbar? Y'all are, how did you get that right like that? That's hilarious and funny. Thank you so much. Bronx Girl come up in here, says this: Chat GPT and all that nonsense will answer depending on how a question is asked. It has told me she is a conspiracy theorist. I am not sure why people think that this is some sort of truth. I think if you're referring to Brandon's article, I'm right there with you. Thank you for the $10, Bronx Girl, for sure. And I think Brandon really, and a lot of these cats are really sacrificing their own credibility, sacrificing what people might. Okay, so she's going live at 6 o'clock. I'm not going to be able to do it, y'all. Turn it. I'm not going to be able to do it. I do apologize. Candace is going live at 6, and I have a hard stop at 6:45. So the best I can do is we can watch it and crack jokes, but I can't do a whole bunch of stopping and such like that because I'll probably, I usually drag it out cracking jokes and talking. So I'm just going to give y'all a heads up real quick. Let me, I might have to do a poll because I could get up in the morning and just do it. Get up after I take my baby to school. So let me jump in here real quick and drop a poll. 1 second. All right, give you a couple of options here. Y'all. Thank you so much. All right. All right, I'm gonna give you 2 options for tomorrow. Or we can just. Please let me know what y'all think. All right, about doing this video. All right, I just dropped the link, the poll question right there. And definitely want to hear what y'all think. And if you missed it, by the way, Brandon, a lot of you all saw that video and you all liked it. Brandon did an interview with a young lady, Rochelle Loach, I believe her last name is. I don't want to butcher it. I thought it was a good interview. I thought they had a good conversation. I thought there was some good energy, chemistry, as people like to say. Well, goodness gracious. Let me pull this back in just in case you missed it.
Imagine my shock after years of having been a huge Brandon Tatum fan, reading all of his stuff, listening to his podcast, watching his videos. Then I invite him onto my podcast because I'm such a big fan. Okay, Brandon Tatum, I cannot thank you enough for coming on my podcast. I'm a little bit starstruck because I've been watching you for years. But I did not think I would actually get you down to come to this podcast because I watch everything you do on X. You have such a voice of moral clarity in this really freaky time, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. And he comes and we have an amazing conversation about like God and the Bible, the Torah, what's happening to the conservative movement right now, an amazing conversation. And then the next day, I get this message from his office. Hello, Rachel. Brandon asked me to reach out with a direct request. Please refrain from posting and please remove any uploaded version of the interview with him. He was not aware that you are Rabbi Shmuley Boteach's daughter at the time of recording. Brandon has publicly and consistently opposed many of your father's positions over the years, and he does not wish to be associated directly or indirectly with him or his views. For that reason, we also need to formally cancel the interview. It already happened, whatever, okay? And any planned publication or promotion related to it. Please confirm that the interview has been taken down and will not be posted moving forward. I wrote back to them saying, this is like shocking. Can you please repudiate this? I'm not taking the conversation down. They completely ghosted me, never answered me. Okay, so what's bothering me here? It's not just that this is such a degrading, demeaning message where Brandon treated me like a piece of garbage stuck to the bottom of his shoe. And that's not such a big deal because it's very common that someone's private character doesn't match their public persona. Okay, that's fine. It's also not that he went woke on me and tried to cancel our conversation and censor me because of my last name, right? I love my dad with all my heart and soul, but we're two different people. We agree on some things, disagree on other things. Conservatives, right? This is one of our biggest conservatives. We don't cancel people based on their background, their ethnicity, their last name, their religion. It's that he lied. I looked it up and I remember thinking, I don't remember him ever talking about my dad. What is he talking about? Like years of disagreement? There's nothing online. I can't find anything. It's a lie. My guess, and this is why I'm sharing this, is that this came from Candace Owens. Candace Owens has such a creepy obsession with my father and I. She has blasted us multiple times, me, on her Daily Wire show. She accused my father of murdering Michael Jackson. She accused me and my father of killing people. She used the word killing. And in this...
Wait, Michael Jackson catches smoke? How did Michael Jackson get caught into the... So I didn't realize this is his Rabbi Shmuley's daughter. Every time she mentions Shmuley, it does sound like she's spitting, like she's using a profane, like she's cussing. I didn't realize that's who this was. Like, how did he ixnay Michael Jackson? Oh gosh. Now I gotta look that up.
This conversation I have with Brandon, I called her evil. I truly think, and I don't know your relationship with her, I truly think Candace Owens is one of the most diabolical, evil-hearted women in America, probably in the world. One of the worst women in the world. I really think she's borderline evil. She, like 2 years ago, was talking about, and I know, I'm sorry, because I know you must probably be friends or something or somewhat, you probably talk, but she was talking about how Israel, I just want to give an example of a spiritual demonization of Israel in the name of Christianity that has nothing to do with like a regular, like I don't like the politics of Israel. Because she is evil. She is, I stand by that. And Brandon kept defending her and saying, no, Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes are evil, but not Candace. I know Candace. Candace is my sister. I know her heart. She's a good person. I believe, this is like my guess, that this came from Candace. And if Candace is censoring Brandon, and Brandon caved to her censorship, and he cowed to her trying to cancel me, that is a problem. These are our biggest conservative voices. This is a problem. It's disgusting, and it shouldn't happen.
Bruh. What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Wow. Okay, y'all. Look, this is crazy work. I jumped over to the internet. I done jumped over to the Lord's internet, y'all. And this is actually a true story. She did, in fact, say this. I'm going to pull this in real quick. She said that Rabbi Shmuley was responsible to some degree, shape, or form with Michael Jackson's deletion. Y'all, Candace just be saying stuff sometimes. I can't believe that we've allowed her to just say this stuff. Pull this in real quick. Sorry about that. All right, and then I got one more thing, and then we're going. And if anybody's wondering, Candace is going live at 6 o'clock. I have a hard stop at 6:45, so I don't know if we're going to be able to dance. So let me pull this in. So I just said, wait, Candace Owens once said that Rabbi Shmuley was involved in Michael Jackson's unaliving. And it says, yes, there's a public claims that Candace Owens alleged that Rabbi Shmuley, by Teach or the Jewish Ring, including him, were somehow involved in the deletion of Michael Jackson. That is crazy. What's the claim about? In 2024, Owens accused Jewish mafia-type figures in Hollywood of orchestrating Michael Jackson's deletion, naming Bio-Teach or Bo-Teach, or suggesting that he's a part of the conspiracy. And I guess this is Shmuley's last name, is Bo-Teach, a part of the conspiracy. According to Bo-Teach, she said, I deleted him, meaning she accused me of murder. The confrontation became so heated it triggered a lawsuit. Bo-Teach reportedly sued Candace for defamation or related harm over such accusation. Wait, hold on. There's another lawsuit? Another lawsuit. We got to add that. Now I got to go find that one. Ay, ay, ay. So anyway, so apparently Rachel is Shmuley's daughter. And she's saying that Brandon and her dad have not had good times. But she's like, she doesn't see any evidence to that. So the only thing she can conclude is that Candace, who's mentioned him several times, a lot of times, asked Brandon to have that interview taken down because of that. That is crazy work, y'all. That is wild. What in the world, man? Botia. Hey, look, please forgive me, y'all. Please forgive me. Don't hold it against me. You said fentanyl was true. Y'all are wild, man. Y'all is absolutely crazy. Okay, y'all, do me a favor. We gotta put somebody in timeout. I don't like putting people in timeout. I need y'all to do me a favor. I need y'all to put MT in the chat. Yep, here it is right here. Put MT. Just put MT in the chat, y'all. MT is going into 0-second timeout. And when I show you this picture, you all are going to agree with me that MT needs to go to 0-second timeout. I can't understand what's wrong with these people. Can y'all just flood the chat with MT? Please. I'm like, we try to have a nice, sensible, logical live stream here. We try not to cause a bunch of stir. We do call the candies, now we do call them Cantifa, but we do give them premium seating in front of the church. They get to come right up here to the front. We try to be respectful. We don't use all caps, all that kind of stuff like that. But sometimes people just come in here and they just be wilding out. Y'all, look at this foolishness. Why is MT sending this to me? Franklin and the Candace Owens plot. How did Franklin get caught up in this? Oh, because he's a turtle. I see what he did there. He said free MT. You got to make it a hashtag, though. It's got to be a hashtag. If you don't make it a hashtag, it can't work. It can't work. It don't work if you don't make it a hashtag. Franklin and the Candace Owens plot. Why are you holding the baguette like a weapon? Why? This is craziness, man. And I can't even pronounce this. Oy baguette and oy vey bagelstein. Oh my goodness. Is that wee baguette and oy vey bagelstein? MT. That's why you're going to 0-second timeout. See, that's baguette army. Y'all are crazy. Why are you people like this? Baguette army is insane. Well, see, the block party, it's only a second long, so they don't really get a chance to get settled in at the block party, really. Where's the purple? Oh, right. Yeah. Where's the maroon shirt? Now, if he had a maroon shirt on, that would be extra crazy. You know what would be very funny is turn this into like one of those pictures where you have a picture. There's a lot of stuff going on and you got to find all the items within it. So like you got this crazy picture. You got to find the turtle. You got to find the airplane. You got to find the bagel, the baguette. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. I hope MT, I really hope that you change your ways. I really do. Because, as a matter of fact, I'm going to forward this to my editor so that he will not use this as the thumbnail or part of the thumbnail for tonight's video. I'm going to just say, do not use this as part of the thumbnail. Do not do that. Okay. Oh, and let's talk about that too, by the way. We just all over the place, man. Candace done throwing me off. So I'm just going to talk about stuff. Yo, shout out. We going to talk about it. Okay. The other day I said, don't send me any poems. Y'all are crazy. You all, I'm going to put every last one of y'all in 0-second timeout. The poems and haikus and rap songs and country western songs. Y'all are crazy. You really are. Okay. No more. I'm going to put them together and we're going to do like the 12 days of Christmas, like build up to Christmas. So I need time to get these together because otherwise I'm gonna have to read these out or maybe I'm just going to post them as poems. Some are poems. Some are, again, somebody sent me a haiku. Somebody took the Dachshund Queen and made a song out of it. Come on, man. Y'all are just, Y'all are the best. When I say this is the best live chat on the internet and the most electrifying comment section on the planet, I mean it. I mean it. Like, nobody can beat us. Nobody can beat this comment section. Nobody can derail this live chat. Period. End of discussion. Catch me outside. I mean, really, it's just not gonna happen. Wait, MT, did you change your ways? Did I see you? Did you write "I will not do that" 75 times on the board? You don't want me to do that at all? I mean, the bad thing is I bet you she's not gonna talk about anything today. I'm right there with you, Vanessa. Thank you for the $2 for sure. I love this book cover. That's comedic gold. But it's not going to be on my thumbnail. It will not be a part of the thumbnail tonight. It will not. It will not. Shout out for sure. And Jayla says this. It needs more colors and planes and a pyramid. Right. Like, why is there not a... Oh, pull it back in. Why is there not a plane in there? There should have at least been a plane. At least a plane. Man, that's crazy work. Let me tell y'all something. All right. When I say this is the best comment section, the best live chat, let me make my case, okay? And this will be it. Like I said, she's supposed to go live at 6 o'clock. I might not be able to. I know I got to end at 6:45 because the car's coming at 6:45, so I won't be here. But let me. Okay, let me explain to you why we are the best live chat on the planet. A couple of weeks ago, I introduced you all, I brought on Artie Trolls, right? And we looked at a couple of videos of his, and he's been a regular contributor to the channel. You all went over there and liked his videos, subscribed to his videos, subscribed to his channel, and this dude's channel has bubbled up so well. And I'm not saying that we did it per se, but I think the attention and the activity that you all gave him has really, I don't think you all are going to beat those charges. So y'all are going to catch those charges. All right. Let me real quick pull it in just to show. Y'all are not going to beat those charges because I ask y'all to make sure you go by and like his video and all that kind of stuff like that. And his videos have been getting consistently more and more and more views every day. And I'm going to say it's because of y'all. Now, I'm sure somebody else might try to take credit for it. I don't care. I'm sure Artie is really happy either way. Let me also bring up another one. Bronson. The other day, we looked at Bronson Rage. Let me pull his up as well. And if the mods could drop their links in the chat, that would be super. And we talked about him, and he's an excellent content creator. And I asked y'all to go check out his video, show him some love, show some support and all that kind of stuff like that. And let me just give you, I'm going to pull this video in because apparently my moderators were like, hey, Jason, do you know that Bronson called you out today or mentioned you this morning? Like, what are you talking about? I didn't know. I try to check out his stuff on a regular basis, but I had not had a chance to check it out yet. And they were like, yeah, he gave you a little shout out. I was like, well, okay, let me hear what he said. And it was fantastic. So let me bring this in real quick. Oh, maybe I did it wrong. I did. Maybe we should get the right one, Jason. That would be beneficial. That's how you know this show is not pre-recorded because we are stumbling and fumbling around here. It means business here. All right. Bang. All right. And I just want to, and this is for the audience. This is for you all. If you all are subscribers to the channel, you all tap in with me on a regular basis, all that kind of good jazz like that. This is for you all to see, like, hey, we are doing good things. We are finding good content creators and we're encouraging them. We're building them up. We're edifying them. We want them to keep making good content. And so I just thought this was super dope. I'm going to pull this in. Let me know when y'all can hear. Of course, as always, green hearts in the chat when you can hear. And if I remove this and put it back in, bada boom, bada bing. All right. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. And bang. Now,
if it's going to be once and for all, it sounds pretty final. I mean, I would assume that I would have to contribute so that I could answer back, right?
No, you simple bitch. You've already contributed. That's why they're doing this show. to address your claims and accusations.
Why am I getting 24 hours to respond? Why do you need me there in person?
I'll tell you why. Because f*** you. Candace needs to have control of the situation. And if she doesn't have control, she behaves like this. This is not a serious person. This is a brat. In today's video, we are going to expose Candace's manipulation tactics. And I think we are going to uncover exactly what this whole facade is all about. And I'll give you a hint. It has nothing to do with finding out the truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk. But before we get into that, I do just want to give a quick shout out to Jay Witt. A few days ago, he featured one of my videos on his live stream. I guess there were people in his chat telling him to watch it. So whoever you guys were, thank you.
That's y'all.
That was really cool to see and completely unexpected. I had a bunch of people come over and comment on that video saying that they came from Jay Witt. And I'm going through it. I'm like, did Jay Witt talk about me on his show? And I went and looked, and sure enough. So I don't know. That was really cool to see. So if you're new here and if you came from Jay Witt's channel, welcome. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this, guys. We're going to go back.
All right. I'm going to make you go watch this video. So please go watch this video. He did an excellent job. And again, most of you all know I've been on YouTube. It'll be now 5 years this coming fall. So just celebrated 4 years. When I came on YouTube, I had no idea what I was doing. And some of you might argue that I still don't know what I'm doing. And guess what? You're probably more right than wrong. But one of the things I really kept looking for was for somebody to help me out. Somebody to help me out. I could show you emails and DMs and text messages to ask bigger content creators, hey, can you help me out? I got questions I don't understand, and I couldn't find many. I really couldn't. I found people like myself who were trying to stumble around, and we had to teach ourselves, okay? I do want to shout out Corey Minor from the Smart Christian channel. He did help me hit 1,000 subscribers. He was definitely one that pushed me over and helped me out a whole lot, and we talk on a regular basis. But for Bronson to basically say that I did for him, and let me back it up, that y'all did for him what I needed to be done for me 4 years ago was incredible. So he didn't know it, but that really hit me in the feels because I know I needed somebody to help me when I was out here on YouTube. I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, if y'all look at some of them early videos, look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, your boy didn't know what he was doing. So for him to say, hey, Jay Witt really helped me out, and that was encouraging, let me tell you something. That meant the world to me. So shout out to Bronson. Please go check out his video. I think you're going to really enjoy it. He did an excellent job of just explaining some things that we all kind of just let slide over our heads, man, and just kind of whiz right past us as it relates to the infamous TPUSA debate. Because I think we all remember they didn't say debate. We had to listen to it again. And sometimes with Candace, you just got to listen to things more times than normal. And that's exactly it. So shout out for sure. Thank you so much for that. Wait, what do we got here? Shout out Amethyst Angel up in here. She says this. That's because you're the best second grade teacher who brings out the silliness in us all. Thank you so much. I appreciate the $5 super. Most of you may or may not know I was a first grade and second grade teacher. I do miss that sometimes. We are the wittiest chat on YouTube. I see what you did there. That's going to open up a lot of shenanigans, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Amethyst, thank you for that. And then what's MT say this? Another important email before you. Oh, gosh. What did you send me? Oh, Lord. Oh, you sent me 2 of them. What are you sending me? Y'all, why is MT like this? Why are you like this? Who hurt you? Come on, MC. Do you need to come up here to the front of the church? Who hurt you? Who did? I'm about to show you all this. Hold on. You're wild. Hey, what's going on, friend? I see you, Lady Low. Thank you for sharing my video. You got me 100 new. What? Really? That's what's up. Beautiful content creator right here. ID Low is a great content creator. Shoot me an email. We might need to do some projects, but for sure. Excellent content creator. I love what she does. And thank you so much. Y'all. Okay, earlier we were doing 0 second timeout. I really truly think that MT might need like true timeout. Look at this picture. Sorry about that. Not that picture. This picture. Why is MT like this? Well, what's wrong, MT? Do you need to talk? Do you need to talk to somebody? Why are you like this? Why is Franklin wearing a maroon assassin shirt and holding the baguette like it's an AR-15? Like, what's going on here? What is really happening here? This is craziness. And now I got to send this to my editor and say, don't use this picture in the thumbnail. Goodness gracious. Could you at least make sure that, now, don't send me any more, but maybe tomorrow, make sure there's a plane, maybe a bagel in there, and some bees, at least a bee or two, like zipping around. That would be dope. How did Franklin become a meme like this? Right, where are the bees at? See? You added the plane. Where? Do we got to search for the plane? We might need tattoo. Well, yeah, like the Eiffel Tower should be a crane. See, at this point in the game, man, you might as well just go ahead and make that that giant picture where you got like the Where's Waldo picture with all the little shenanigans in it. That's going to have to be what you need to do. Wow, thank you so much. Gene Lee said, look, let's add some more shenanigans to the pot, adding 5 more members to the team. Thank you so much. She going out there blessing folk. Y'all, whoever got it, make sure you tell her thank you. I know y'all said, look, we're going to come over here. We heard Jay Witt is serious, and I'm letting you down, y'all. I'm letting y'all down. Oh, y'all said come back late tonight. Oh, my gosh. I got to see what time this event is over with. If we can, we will. Otherwise, we might. But I got a bad feeling looking at her thumbnail. She got Cash Patel on here, Tim Pool, and a mystery. I would rather talk about Tim Pool, truth be told. I'd rather talk about Tim Pool than Cash. Just because she don't like Cash Patel, she don't like what he said to Megyn Kelly. I guarantee you that's it. And notice how she has now diverted all of the conversation. All of what's going on with Charlie Kirk has now been just thrown off the, drawn out of the script, written out of the script, and everything is about Candace now. That's crazy work, man. That is crazy work. Now, I think it's adorable, and I'm sure most of you heard that Tim Pool announced that someone unleashed projectiles at his home over the weekend. And, you know, praying for Tim, don't want anything bad to happen to him whatsoever. But I just thought it was adorable that Candace came out there, and she's going to probably say it today. Oh, now I do want to watch it now. Because I know what she's going to say. She's going to say that Tim Pool needs to release the police report that, and you know, what the vehicle looked like and whatever kind of bullets they found, so on and so forth. I guarantee that's what she's going to say. But the irony is that she has done none of that herself. She's not actually at this moment proven that she's not proven that this is real. She's not proven that. Not one iota, not one stitch has she proven that any of this is true. So the fact that she's going to tell Tim Pool, because she told him on Twitter that he needs to release the police report so we can see what the car looked like, are there videos, blah, 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 blah. Ma'am, where's yours? That's going to be crazy. If Cantifa allows her to get away with that without holding her feet to the fire, just like she's about to besmirch Tim Pool. And I feel comfortable. I mean, let me know in the chat. Do you think I'm crazy? Like she's not going to say that? I see some. She got invisible receipts. It's crazy. It's all in her head. Exactly. Right. I think that's what's going to end up happening. This is a very interesting point as well. And this morning I was able to talk to Virgil Walker about the Jason Whitlock show and how they were really misunderstanding the whole argument about Candace and the TPUSA. That video was up this morning. And it does seem interesting to me that everything Candace does is to not look at the left. I mean, no trans, no furries, no Muslims, no septum rings, no blue-haired baristas, nobody. Everybody we're looking at is on the right. It just seems weird. It just seems very odd. And she's doing, it would seem like everything to not make you look that way, to the left, which is my left, probably your right. I don't know. It seems weird to me. It seems odd. This is a very good point. Thank you, Kimberly. No matter what happens to others, her response is never compassion, yet she wants compassion. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. All right. When she goes live, we are going to do, I'm going to do the 6:30 to her first commercial break. And then I got to end the show. Because again, like I said, the car will be here at 6:45. So I got to be out, and I do have to got my little quarter zip on, trying to look fresh like the kids do nowadays. But so that's that. And let me drop this out, pull that back in, make sure we're ready when she does go live. Thank you so much for that. All right, so we got it queued up. We're ready. When it happens, it'll happen. But yeah, like I said, we will call it a game. No pun intended. We'll call it a game at the first commercial break, when she does her ad read, and then we'll be ready to go from there. 1,000,000,000%. Yo, y'all are wild. She did say vehicle. That's very interesting. But see, like that's another great example of that's not what Candace is doing is not journalism. What Candace is doing is not investigative journalism, is not anything akin to that. It's just throwing out theories, and again, it's not like a group project more than anything else. But if you have a theory, why don't you just work the theory and then bring it to us once you've finished, or bring it to us once you've gotten the jewel out of the ground. You're going to treasure out of the ground, and now we can go work together to clean it off, preserve it, calculate it, figure out all that stuff, weighing it. But she just throws out theories. I forgot about the vehicle versus car thing, which was so dumb. Oh, he never, children don't say vehicle, but she says young adults don't say vehicle, but she says it all the time. Candace needs to release about 800, I don't even know how many receipts for claims she has made before she insists on anything else. You know she's going to ask, you know it. She is going to call for Tim Pool to give some kind of receipts. That's exactly what's going to happen. Because she already did it on X already. She already did it over the weekend. I want to say yesterday, actually. All right, lots of good conversation going on in the chat. Always good. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. It looks like 1,000 of y'all have jumped into the best live chat on the internet. Don't be afraid. Hit that like button. Let it know that you are here. If you don't like it, hit it 3 times. There we go. Help your boy out. Trying to get 100,000. Get that little plaque. Wouldn't that plaque look good back here? My sign that's supposed to have been delivered Saturday, there's a surprise. It'll be delivered on Wednesday. So maybe I'll do a live stream putting it up. I don't know. Y'all can tell me if it's in the right place. Maybe that's what we'll do. That's a good point. Tim doesn't want people to know where his security cameras are on his property. That's a very keen observation, if that's what he said. But you know what, Candace? No, I don't think. If the police know, if the police are doing what they need to do, I don't think Tim needs to crowdsource his security. So if that's what is happening, and that's why he didn't, again, he doesn't have to release anything. Get out of here. All right, let's see what we got. Lots of good. Investigating Tim Pool gets her out of calling out from TPUSA. She's going to probably focus on Tim Pool. This is another, man, y'all are really on. That's why I love the best live chat. I'm kind of mad that I got to leave. But have y'all noticed that she doesn't mention her quote unquote assassination plot at all? Not a bit. Now she's going to focus on what Kash Patel said. She's going to focus on Tim Pool, but she's not going to talk about the fact that, by the way, the French, you know, we got a whole plot against me. She's not going to talk about that. That would seem like a big deal. Like, I'm not trying to make light of it, but I would think that would be a big deal that an entire country has put a whole hit out on you with two other countries working together, and the people are in the United States ready to do you harm. I would think that'd probably be a big deal. I might be crazy. Call me crazy. Zoolander. Wait, what did you say? Candace went all Zoolander. I can't turn left. Okay. I've never seen Zoolander. Yeah, I mean, her receipts are just, believe me, bro, I saw it in a dream. That's crazy work. Candy did not like Benny supporting Tim. Interesting. Now, there's a lot of good conversation going on in the chat. I appreciate y'all. It definitely looks like y'all are tapped in on what's going on over there. Let me make sure I have this video ready and queued up. So it's supposed to be going live in 3 minutes. Shout out for sure. I appreciate y'all. Let me real quick. Let's cleanse our palates very quickly. I don't know what I would talk about if I had Rachel come on. I would love to have Rachel come on. There's a lot of content creators people ask me to interview and have conversations with. I don't know what I would say, what we would talk about. So I need to find something to talk about. But I might reach out to her. That might be cool to have her come on and we can chop it up a little bit. That would be fun. Man, thank you so much. What do we have here real quick as I'm getting ready? We got Jean Lee, of course, blessing 5 people with new memberships. What does Patrine say here with the 5? What will you be doing on the 15th? What do you think I'm going to be doing on the 15th? Best live chat team ever. Jay Witt is the best. Thank you. What do you think I'm going to be doing on the 15th? I might start a watch party at 3 o'clock. It's going to be like UFC where they have like the prelims, then we have prelim show, then we have the main card, and then we have an after card. And then you just debrief. We're going to be up in this booth all day. The only problem is President Firstborn is coming back from college at 9 o'clock. And I'm surfing the idea past my wife. Don't you want to go pick her up? You should go pick her up. You should go pick her up from the airport. That's terrible. I'm such a terrible dad. Y'all pray for your boy. Green Hearts, thank you so much. The Soul Knit. I appreciate you so much for that. Thank you very much. And this, I think Waleed is going to make, the episode that's, you know what, Ruben, I forgot about him. Project Constitution posted his picture and she is just recently praising them and reposting them. Okay, that's very possible. I did forget about Waleed. I don't think it's Mohammed. I think I was pronouncing it wrong, but that's a good point. Thank you, Ruben, for the 5. And then what is sacred? Or rather created by the divine, say with the 10. Did you see where Neeson Black did a video saying that the George Farmer's birthday is in July, not in December? Yeah, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this about that whole shenanigans with the birthday. What I think happened, because Candace never says her husband's birthday is December 15th. I can't find her saying it. What I do see, however, is Twitter and all of the Cantifa people saying it and her co-signing it in the chat. Now, I might be wrong, and I'm sure somebody's going to send me a picture of Candace Spearsy saying her husband's birthday is December 15th, which seems to be really silly. But I think once people realize that they were saying December 15th as an excuse for her not going to debate TPUSA, they immediately went and started editing the editing the Wikipedia and all that stuff like that, and they messed it up. So there's pictures. I got pictures of the top part saying his birthday is July 4th, the bottom part saying it's December 15th. Like they messed up. They were doing too much. So that's what I think happened, in my opinion, what happened. But I'm sure somebody's going to send me a picture or something of her actually saying his birthday was the 15th, because I don't see that. I see it kind of like became like a internet rumor, and then people started running with it. And then they were like, oh, let's go check and change his Google page. Let's go check and change Wikipedia. And all these things started clashing, and too many people were trying to edit stuff, and that's where it went south. That's what I think happened, but I could be wrong. Shout out to Black Sigma with the 5. Credit to Benny Johnson threatening legal action against Milo. Yeah, that was this. Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother 2-day conversation. Thank you so much for that, and let's see that happens. Okay, she's about to go live. Let's bring it in. I'm gonna have this already. Green hearts in the chat when you're able to hear. Okay, this doesn't move. That moved, Jason. There we go. All right. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. She hasn't started. You know how this starts off and she doesn't have any audio for some reason? They could copyright. Amy says there a way to block her from live streaming their video. The best thing, the only thing they could do is they could copyright it. And I don't know if they want to do that. It would make them look bad. Just let her do it. It doesn't change anything. In my opinion, I don't think that they should. It will only create more problem. What are they hiding? Why don't they want me to stream it? Why don't they want me to watch it? They're blocking my free speech. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
All right, you guys, happy Monday. I am here. And I got to tell you, Charlie Kirk discussing the JFK assassination, that sure is something. If you haven't yet seen this clip that's making the rounds, we have it for you. And it makes it kind of hilarious, even more hilarious, that the very organization that Charlie Kirk built is trying to sell to the public that the very idea of a government-sanctioned assassination is crazy. And on that point, another interesting lead has come in regarding the potential French connection, regarding which I should mention that Kash Patel has been directly asked about their potential involvement in Charlie Kirk's assassination. And his answer, his reply to that question is stunning. I should say, actually, it's a non-answer. So welcome back to Candace.
All right, let's go, y'all. Let's go.
What do you guys think Charlie Kirk would have said about his own assassination? Just think about that. What would his perspective have been on everything that we are currently being told, the people that are being attacked about it? I think about that actually often, and listening to his perspectives regarding political assassinations of the past in retrospect really is something. So one of his, honestly, one of his last events in May of this year, Charlie was directly asked his opinion regarding John F. Kennedy's assassination down in Dallas. And here is what Charlie had to say.
In the JFK files, Mossad is mentioned. One of the reasons why Mossad is mentioned so much is that they're just a very good intelligence operation. It was not mentioned as if they were tied or that they knew about it or that they were involved. Again, I think the best reading of what happened there is who wanted JFK dead the most. Again, a lot of people said Israel wanted JFK dead. I'd love to hear that argument. But definitely Lyndon Baines Johnson and parts of our own government and the Cubans wanted him dead. And who actually made it happen? There were like 15 or 20 things that happened that day that were inexcusable. They changed the parade route. He rode in an open-air convertible. LBJ decided not to ride alongside of him. The vehicle slowed down right when it went by the Texas School Book Depository. A lot there, right? And then, again, I think that all of us are smarter to believe that it was simply Lee Harvey Oswald. The more important question is not, oh, who did it? We have to first acknowledge it that more than one person did it. Yeah. Once we acknowledge that more than one person did it, then we can expose our government to have lied to us about the JFK assassination, which then I think will sober a lot of us about trusting the government in the future.
I mean, yes, all of that. Thank you, Charlie Kirk, for reminding us that you had common sense, that you didn't accept force-fed narratives, that you did not accept the BS crap that our government has sold us regarding the one individual that was involved in JFK's assassination. Of course, multiple people were involved and a lot of strange things occurred on that day. That is what makes his answer there so compelling, okay? Especially in the midst of, well, MK Ultra 2.0, Remember the first government psyop on the people, MK Ultra. What actually came together? Sorry, I should say Mockingbird 2.0. The first government psyop on the people following JFK's assassination, Mockingbird 1.0, to convince everybody through influence that there was nothing to see here, even though there was so much to see there. And now it's being deployed again, Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird 2.0, to convince people that questions about the Charlie Kirk narrative are just crazy. Right? How dare you consider that there may have been employees at Turning Point USA who could be engaged in an obvious cover-up at this moment?
Wow.
Well, Frank Turek, Pastor Frank Turek, says that's so crazy because that would mean that Charlie Kirk hired people that ultimately betrayed him. And no one's ever been betrayed by people that they trust in the history of the world.
She's projecting.
Okay, well, actually, maybe that did happen for Jesus Christ. That's just one historical example of a person surrounded by somebody that they trust who would ultimately betray them. And yes, JFK, who personally selected Lyndon Baines Johnson to be his vice president, Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was clearly implicated in JFK's assassination. Charlie rightfully says that is obvious by now. So yeah, it's all very plausible. Oh, and Charlie, you can see, does not readily dismiss the idea that the Mossad may have been involved. He says he'd like to hear more of an argument on that, as he asserts that definitively parts of our government had to have been involved. And he says,
no, y'all go back and watch that. I'm sorry. We're not going to be able to keep stopping. But that's not what he said. That's not.
The Cubans, the commies, wanted him dead. Charlie is encouraging the inquiry further. Who wanted JFK dead the most? Okay, well, we should continue down that path. Who wanted Charlie Kirk dead the most and why? And
why are you not calling out leftists then? Why are you not calling out the Trantifa people? Why are they getting a pass, but you're looking literally at his biggest supporters? That makes no sense. Y'all, this is mentally
Charlie was
deficient.
very much in the political fast lane. Okay. And in the political fast lane, they want you dead for really one or all of these three reasons: money, secrets, and or power. We know that Charlie said no to money right before he died. I think that means he probably knew a secret right before he died. And there is no doubt that his youth political organization had achieved a considerable amount of political power. Could there have been global implications? Of course. People are laughing. They've been laughing this entire time.
I'm laughing at you.
Because just following the evidence of what transpired on that day.
What
a
evidence?
lot of odd things that transpired on that day, just like on the day of JFK's assassination. Well, that pointed us into the direction of a particular satellite of countries and continents that have somehow come up in this investigation. I'll paint that for you now. Yes, we have mentioned France. Yes, we have mentioned Israel. Yes, we have mentioned the United States government. And yes, we have mentioned Egypt, which is in Africa. Wow, that seems crazy. People also laughed when I said that there was thereafter a viable threat, which came from the Macron couple who apparently paid for my assassination.
Uh-oh, she brought it up.
And yet, strangely, neither the Pentagon nor the White House or our intel agent.
Y'all, okay, y'all gonna make me rage quit. She hasn't given you any proof of this.
Or the Elysee Palace are disputing that narrative. And now we can add officially the FBI to that list of agencies that aren't denying that threat, because Kash Patel recently gave an interview to Megyn Kelly, and like an actual journalist and not a cutesy influencer like Cam Higbee. Don't laugh.
She doesn't like him.
Megyn Kelly asked him directly about the Macron couple and about the allegation that they attempted to orchestrate an assassination on my life, and of course, whether or not they could have been involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, which I have said, right? Here is what Kash Patel says in response, or rather what he doesn't say in response. Take a listen.
There's been an allegation made by prominent podcaster Candace Owens that she's received a death threat, a credible death threat from the French, that a threat has been made on her life, and that the French, she's been told, also may have had a role in Charlie's assassination. Have you looked into either of those? Do you believe she's received a credible death threat from the French, or that the French had something potentially to do with Charlie's death?
Any American that receives a death threat from overseas or anywhere in America is going to be fully investigated. So we're not going to turn our eye away from that investigation or any others. If there's anything to it, this FBI will respond to it.
Okay, but so far, no.
So we are just looking at everything that comes in. We're not going to reject any piece of information. If someone feels that their life is being threatened, we are, of course, looking at it.
Do you want to involve me in you looking at it? Because actually, it kind of left me on red. There has been no communication.
Why don't you give it to them then? You're literally sending it to a text message. Ma'am, come on. This, y'all, if you are a Cantifa person, look at your person. Look at her. Get done, Jason.
With the FBI, you are aware right there. Megyn Kelly is asking you directly about it, so you can't pretend you didn't receive it. And you are choosing to skip over. He completely skips over the part about me having asserted, which Megyn asks him directly, was France involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination? He doesn't even address that. Skips right over it and instead says, if any American has a threat, that's what we're here for. And she's like, okay, but was there actually a threat on if anybody, let's just kind of state it more broadly, we will take it seriously. Well, you're not doing that, Kash Patel. And I find it very odd that I said that I had proof that the government of France was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, that they were on the ground that day. And you have not reached out to me.
Nobody.
In this very interview that you are asserting that you are certain that Tyler Robinson is the only person involved, how can you be certain if you are not reaching out to people that claim to have verifiable evidence which could dispute that narrative? Does it seem to you like he's telling the truth there?
Yeah.
Does it seem to you like he's being open, he's being
It
transparent, or does it seem like he's intentionally being cagey because he knows that I am telling the truth, despite the many millions of dollars that is being spent on this Operation Mockingbird 2.0 campaign? Kash Patel knows that I am telling the truth. That's why they are turning to influencers to try to tell you not to look that way. Candace is crazy. Oh my gosh, like Candace must have made this up. But the people that are in power are not telling you that I made this up, even when they are given the opportunity to do so.
Why don't you show the evidence, ma'am? Then nobody can say it. If you just got the evidence and put it out here and say, here's the proof, and everybody would have to say, oh, well, she has real proof.
Think to stay silent, okay?
Whatever, Candace.
And I am waiting for all of this to be uncovered because this is bigger than we could have ever imagined. And it is very clear to me that our satellite of nations involved in this is not so implausible. In fact, maybe it's very plausible that all of these states are somehow involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. So here's what happened after we went off air. I received a tip, actually from overseas.
Another tip.
Which has positively blown my mind.
Of course it did.
It's blown my mind in a lot of ways, particularly because I had this intuition in terms of the things that I was researching and that were coming up, and we're looking into Utah and all of these things, that there was this chance that trafficking, like global trafficking, is could be involved here. Like that this could be maybe somehow Charlie was being asked to be brought in. He built an organization that has a presence, I think, in all 50 states, actually in all 50 states.
This is evil.
And that presents a certain opportunity, like for potentially trafficking. Now, the tip that we received was that we were very much on the right track and that there was another Pierre that we should be looking into, right? And what I'm going to say is, despite this tip and indicating that Turning Point, people that work with Turning Point or one of their, action organizations, who knows which organization, they have a few, took a meeting with this particular Pierre. We cannot verify that yet. We would like to verify that information. And if you know more, please email us, moretips@CandaceOwens.com. But I'm going to tell you that even if we can't verify that.
Okay, I'm going to stop right now. You do know where she's going with the trafficking, right? You all already know where she's going with the trafficking. This is so gross. You already know what she's about to say. She's not going to say it, but somebody's going to send her a tip, and then she's going to say it. You already know. I see it already. Yep. Erica Kirk. That's it.
That tip, just knowing who this person is, This person who
This is
lives in
gross.
Scottsdale, Arizona, and is a billionaire, and that is where Turning Point USA is based. Knowing this person's background is incredibly compelling, okay? This individual that they mentioned that we should take a look into or learn more about, his name is Pierre Falcone. Now, I had never heard of this individual, and I'm going to say allegedly again regarding the Turning Point USA connection, but his past is not allegedly.
Is he from Gotham?
He was involved in a scandal that almost brought down the French government, and it involved, here we go, Africa, Angola in particular,
All right, Kingston.
Israel, France, and the United States. Arms trafficking, okay? Weapons that were being trafficked into Africa. And this scandal came to be known as Angola Gate. And I'm going to do my best here to summarize it for you so that you get the gist of this. In short, the scandal happened during the civil war in Angola. So you have an African country, there is a civil war. You should just know instinctively that none of these civil wars are organic. No civil war ever was organic. Not even our civil war was organic. It's a bunch of Freemason lodges, deep state government involvement, and you can bet your money that the deep state is always involved when stuff is going on in Africa. Civilized countries are always involved in sponsoring civilizations being brought down. Anyways, it gets discovered during the course of French elections, and this is dating back to 1999, that the French government is actually involved in trafficking weapons, military-grade weapons, to Angola to facilitate this war. And they did this through an illicit network of countries. The public learns this, and it turns out that France is involved, Russia is involved, Slovakia is involved. They're using this company, which is known as Branco International, to sell these arms to the Angolan president. Now, Branco International is run by this guy. His name is Arkady Gaidamak. Of course, he is Israeli, initially born in Russia, and then right when Israel becomes a nation, he moves there. He's also, of course, the president of the Congress of Jewish Religious Communities, so you can't question anything he does. It's anti-Semitic. And his partner is Pierre Falcone. Pierre Falcone is born in Algeria. He moves to France after the Algerian Civil War. So I'm just going to bring up the players here very quickly. This is just from a website that's called Corruption Tracker. You've got Pierre Falcone. He's the businessman, the main broker of the arms deals. He gets convicted of arms trafficking, breach of trust, a misuse of corporate assets, bribery. He gets sentenced to 6 years in prison. But then he gets cleared on an appeal, okay? So technically, he was found not guilty of this crime and then was sentenced to a reduced 2.5 years in prison. You have Arkady Gaidamak, who I just told you about. He's the other businessman, and he gets convicted, even though he never showed up, in France of arms trafficking, tax fraud, bribery, money laundering, you name it. You have the French interior minister that was implicated. You also have Francois Mitterrand, the French president's son, that was implicated in this. When I say high-reaching, as in like the president of France at that time was implicated via his son, who was involved in this. Basically, everyone was getting paid off of this. It ends up being 41 politicians involved, multiple states, and of course, multiple nations that are involved, including Angola. But you should know the scandal also touched the United States. Human rights groups demanded that Congress also probe the Bush administration's involvement because they claim they did a deal and got involved for oil. Of course, why do we have wars? Because they can go in and they can steal a country's resources. I hope you are awake to that by now. Everything that's being sold to you, fighting for their power, fighting for their rights, Muslims versus Christians. Wealthy bankers.
Whenever you hear Muslim, that's how she.
I'm reading.
Whenever she brings up Muslims, that's how she does it.
This Bush component from a website that's known as Corp Watch, and it tells us that, quote, known as Angola Gate in France, the scandal involves arms for oil deals between French businessman Pierre Falcone, the head of a firm that was called Branco International, his colleague Jean-Christophe Mitterrand, the son of the former French president, and a Russian-born Israeli named Arkady Gaidamak. According to All the President's Men, a March 25th report on Angola Gate by Global Witness, Gaidamak funneled billions of dollars in arms and oil-backed loans to Angola's government in return for lucrative oil contracts with Western oil companies. Falcone and Gaydamak, relying on the special access that Mitterrand had to the Angolan government, managed to transfer some $463 million in arms to Angola. And that's interesting. That is very interesting. Now, according to my sources in France, they say that the people of France were absolutely outraged. They found this to be naked corruption when he won his appeal. And then afterwards, Pierre Falcone just disappeared into thin air, disappeared from France, because as it turns out, he actually reappeared in Scottsdale. And what he's been doing since is anybody's guess. But we had some
minding his own business,
which I'd like to pursue
unlike
further.
you.
Since again, he is in Scottsdale, and we know that Turning Point is very much involved in politics in Scottsdale, as to whether or not he still has a foot in politics. Are they familiar with this person? What we can say is that suddenly, for certain, we can say that particular satellite of countries is not so ridiculous, okay? So the joke's on all of you guys who are trying to pretend that the idea that multiple nations could be involved in a scandal is just so far-reaching, okay? That is the former American mindset where we believed that our government were the good guys. And let me tell you, many of us have had our eyes open to the possibility that wasn't so. All of us maybe were half asleep and thought, oh, well,
I think you were half asleep.
Good guys. It's the left that's bad, or it's the right that's bad. The day that Charlie Kirk got publicly executed in front of the world and our government was just behaving in ways that indicated that they wanted to cover this up, that they were not interested in getting to the bottom of this, everybody woke up. Everybody is awake in the whole world right now that there is something much more far-reaching and nefarious that is going on. And trafficking is definitively, to me, a plausibility, because I believe that if you are an entrepreneur and you become successful in this country, meritocracy, we do not live in. No, I believe Tucker Carlson was right when he called that out on stage and started.
Okay, I got to say this then. So following that logic, then Candace Owens is the biggest recipient of that level of whatever she's going to say. If it's not meritorious, then she is the biggest recipient of it. Remember, she is the #1 podcast. She's successful. Y'all, please. I gotta go.
How these people become billionaires. I believe that you, when you get to a certain level, have to decide whether you are going to join the gang, okay? Whether you're going to join the gang of global governance, the gang that can snap its fingers and start a civil war in Africa. And if you have the nerve to say no to joining that gang and giving them access to whatever it is that you have created, you're a dead man walking. That's my perspective today on how this whole thing works. And yeah, I am very much thinking that it is definitively a sensible and a rational plausibility that Charlie Kirk came up against this gang, right? Like, you're with us or you're against us. And what I can tell you is we also received a tip from somebody within Turning Point USA that the night before he died, I know for a fact he messaged a donor and he messaged somebody at Turning Point USA.
She knows she lying.
I did not know, and this is what was told to me, that he also messaged Dan Flood, the security that's to his right, and allegedly explicitly said that they are going to kill me tomorrow. So again, that many people know that Charlie sensed that he was going to die tomorrow is an absolute fact. Why these individuals are all being quiet about that?
Because you haven't shown any proof, Candace.
Okay. And what we can say for certain is, of course,
this is evil.
People will betray one another if money is on the line.
This is evil,
and
y'all.
It could be for 30 pieces of silver, or it could be for billions. But things get complicated when there's a lot of money on the line. So we're going to pause there. We have a bunch of things that I want to show you when we get back. But first, let's go to sponsors.
All right, y'all, real quick.
Guys, I'll ask the
everybody's
question,
hopped in. I'm going to let you know I have an appointment with my wife. She's being honored at a reception dinner tonight, and the car is coming to pick me up in a few. So I need to actually call this a game. Candace set me up for the wet up. I'm going to probably come back later on tonight. It depends on what time we get back from the dinner. I'm going to probably come back tonight and see if I can finish up, because I do want to hear what she says about Tim Pool. But I want to say thank y'all to everybody. This is gross, y'all. And I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And yes, the left is celebrating because Candace is pointing the finger at everybody on the right. Nobody on the left is catching any strays. Let me get real quick. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Notice that she calls him by his first and last name. PSYOP. It's impersonal. Thank you so very much for the $5 super amethyst angel. You're right there on the money. Phantom says this: the fact that she's claiming Judas as an example demonstrates she does not know Christianity. Those who are Christ knows that what was the plan, that was the plan of God. Candace knows nothing. She has Dunning-Kruger effect on heroin. That's just it. And she just gets out here and just literally reads from a website. Now, mind you, it was bad that Blake Neff read from a website. Remember that? I mean, read from that paper on his hand. But she can read from a website from a teleprompter. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Thank you so much. Our Lila Rose, thank you so much for the 13 Canadian. She says this: it's up to Candace or anyone else who has evidence of a crime to turn the evidence into law enforcement. This is the part that makes me infuriated. Like, where is your evidence, Candace? Where's the proof of what you're talking about? The tip was from Andrew Tate. It probably was. Thank you, I love. I love, please forgive me with the $2 super for sure. Jalen says this with 5. The Civil War to end slavery was an attempt to bring down civilization. I'm done with her. Like, the logic that she's using, I don't think it even has an IQ. When I say Candace Owens is an IQ test, this is what I'm talking about. She literally says stuff that contradicts reality. At this point, she's playing out 1984 in real time. Continue. Thank you so much. 5687 with the 5 says this: she just does reciting of a completely irrelevant fact, and dumb people mistake it as being smart. She has not tied up any of the numerous stories. There are so many stories running around here. It is without, like, how do you even get me to believe that multiple nations are involved in? That's crazy. Thank you so much for the 5 for sure. And we're rounding these bases with the indigenous goose with the 5 says this: hey, could you boost the audio on Candace? I can barely hear. Yo, real quick, man. And that's the last one. Thank y'all so much for support. Something is with her audio. If I play another audio track, another content creator, it comes out perfect and loud and crisp. I don't know why, but hers are always low. And I've tried it on I've tried other streams. I don't know what it is about her stream. It always is low. It's something with her audio. It's not me, because if I played somebody else, theirs is loud. But everybody, I want to say thank y'all so much. I'm going to try my best to come back tonight and at least talk about the Tim Pool. I'm going to ask, it might not be long, but I might want to talk about that Tim Pool, because I do want to hear what she says about it, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be ridiculous. But I do need to get moving and grooving. So I want to say thank y'all so much for tapping in. Candace started late because I intended to be on at 5. I thought we were going to be done by 6:15. I'd have been ready to go. But y'all, thank you so much for every one of y'all. Thank y'all for supporting. Green hearts in the chat as you on your way out. Make sure you tip your waiter. If I earned it, hey, can I get a subscribe? Trying to hit 100,000. Thank y'all so much, everybody. I'll see you all real soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Whip Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.